Tonight we're working on the Rav4, and I'll show you why. It may not be obvious or apparent to everyone, but that exhaust is way louder than it should be. The exhaust pipe broke in half right by the muffler, so we're going to try to weld it back together and see if I can avoid having to buy a replacement part. So never done this before, but I'm optimistic that we'll be able to get it figured out. So I'm under the back of the car here, and just to show what the culprit is, this here is not supposed to be disconnected from this. So all of these bolts and everything that are holding this all together is super corroded. I can get the exhaust piece that goes from here all the way to the front of the car. Looks like I can get one for about 90 bucks. You can buy one from Toyota for a lot more, but I'm hoping I can try to have a MIG welder here. I'm going to try to see if I can weld this back together here and avoid having to pay for all the parts to put it back together. But if not, I figure worst case scenario, I ruined a part that's already broken. So we're going to give it a try. This may be an unnecessary step, but one that I'm taking because I am very novice with all of this. This is new to me, but I believe this is, I'm measuring the thickness of the metal just because that will determine kind of what I want to weld. And that, my caliper is showing 1/16 of an inch, which is what I had read. It would probably be 16 gauge steel. So what I'm going to do is use my wire brush on the grinder, clean all this up, and then I'll get my welder set up to weld 16 gauge, and we'll be cooking. We've got this chart here. So I already figured out I have 16 gauge that I'm welding. I don't have gas, argon, or some kind of shielding gas, and so I have this wire that has shielding gas, so gasless flux cord. I think it would be better to have gas, but they do have this wire for a reason. So 16 gauge. I need my settings to be at B2. So I can close this down up to the front, turn the wire feed to 2, turn that to B, and we should be good to go. Okay, I got a couple ugly little tack welds in there. Let's see if I can show you. Not because I'm proud of them, but because I need to be honest about what's going on here. There we go. Whew. So I'm gonna have to work those around to a couple others. That top, there's a bit more of a gap, and then we'll see. This may be one of the ugliest welds ever, but in the spirit of transparency, that's what I got. I think it's mostly closed up all the way around. I'm thinking that maybe some of the spots were not as clean as they needed to be, and I just need to practice with this welder some more to figure out how to use it, but I'm gonna go start it up and see how it sounds. I was gonna say too, because of where this is located, this close to the muffler, I'm not as worried about it having a leak or something like that, as long as it doesn't sound like I cut the exhaust. I'll be okay. But if it was higher up, closer to the engine, I probably would be approaching it differently. Let's first start up after that work and see where where things are at. Woo! Nice and quiet. Now the question is, are the welds gonna hold? But I think we're good to go for now. One last look at those not so pretty welds, but listen to that engine purr. Well, that was welding the muffler back together, or the exhaust pipe. Like I said and showed, my weld is not super pretty, but it got the job done for what we're needing here. I would love to do some more welding projects in the future and get more familiar with the welder, but in this case, at least it's holding in place. I hope it lasts for a long time. This car just passed over 200,000 miles, so we're hoping to keep it on the road for a good long while still. Thanks for watching.